What's up, Boston Celtics fans? Things are heating up in the NBA playoffs, and the green and white are making headlines once again. After an absolutely dominant 120-89 win in Game 5, the Celtics didn't just move past the Orlando Magic. They made a serious statement to the rest of the league. This is a team on a mission, a team with its eyes locked on back-to-back titles, and they just reminded everyone why they are still the squad to beat. From the opening tip-off, the Celtics looked locked in. There was no hesitation, no sluggishness, just focus, intensity, and execution. Every possession had purpose. Every defensive stop screamed urgency. And what we witnessed wasn't just a win, it was a dismantling. The Celtics weren't playing basketball. They were delivering a message. They're not here to participate. They're here to dominate. Now, let's talk about one of the players who truly flipped the switch in this series. Kristaps Porzingis. Coming off a rough Game 3 where the Magic's tough, physical defense seemed to throw Boston out of rhythm, Porzingis and the coaching staff knew something had to change. The Magic had found a way to slow down the Celtics' offensive flow, especially in the paint, and Porzingis, often the focal point inside, felt that pressure firsthand. But here's where things got interesting. Instead of panicking or forcing plays, Porzingis took the time to study, to dissect what Orlando was doing. He said it himself. There were cracks in the Magic's plan. Subtle openings, minor shifts in their rotations, windows of opportunity that weren't being capitalized on. And once Boston identified those vulnerabilities, they wasted no time. Porzingis came into Game 4 with a whole new mindset, and the numbers speak for themselves. 19 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Those aren't just stats. That's a statement. That performance reignited the team. You could feel the energy shift. It wasn't just about Porzingis scoring. It was the way he moved without the ball, the way he drew defenders, opened up space, and changed the geometry of the court. And once the Celtics started rolling again, there was no stopping them. But of course, heading into Game 5, there was one huge question looming over the TD Garden. Would Jaylen Brown be available? After suffering a posterior impingement in his right knee, fans and analysts alike were holding their breath. Jaylen Brown isn't just any player. He's the reigning finals MVP, the heartbeat of this Celtics team. His leadership, his two-way game, and his intensity are unmatched. And when he's on, the whole team rises with him. Thankfully, just hours before tip-off, the green light was given. Brown was cleared to play, and man, did he deliver. With 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, he didn't just play. He set the tone. No hesitation, no signs of holding back. He attacked the basket, hit his mid-range shots, and clamped down on defense like nothing had happened. That kind of performance from someone coming off an injury, that's the stuff of legends. And let's not forget what he did earlier in the series. Back in Game 2, Brown was absolutely unstoppable, dropping 36 points, pulling down 10 rebounds, dishing out 5 assists, and even snagging a steal. That game was vintage Jaylen. Controlled aggression, smooth footwork, an elite level, efficiency. So to see him bounce back and contribute at a high level in Game 5 was not only reassuring, but a major boost for the Celtics' momentum heading into the next round. Speaking of the next round, the road only gets tougher from here. With Orlando in the rearview mirror, Boston is now preparing to face either the New York Knicks or the Detroit Pistons. Both matchups come with their own unique challenges, and the Celtics can't afford to take anyone lightly. Let's start with New York. The Knicks have had a solid postseason run so far, and a big reason for that is their star point guard, Jalen Brunson. This guy is crafty, shifty, and fearless. He can slice through defenses, create his own shot, and hit big buckets when it matters most. Pair him with a dominant big like Karl Anthony Towns. Yes, the Knicks went all in, and suddenly you got a 1-2 punch that can cause serious problems. The Celtics will need to be sharp on pick and roll defense and limit second chance opportunities if they want to take control of that potential series early. But don't count out Detroit. The Pistons have been one of the surprise stories of these playoffs. They came in with nothing to lose and have played like it. Scrappy, physical, and locked in defensively, they've been pushing teams to the edge. Cade Cunningham has emerged as a real leader, showing poise beyond his years and delivering clutch performances. While they may not have the star power Boston has, the Pistons' unpredictability makes them dangerous. They hustle for every loose ball. They crash the boards hard, and they refuse to go down quietly. Regardless of who Boston faces next, one thing's for sure, they're not backing down. This team has depth, experience, and the fire to go all the way. Between Jason Tatum's scoring arsenal, Jaylen Brown's leadership, Porzingis' resurgence, and a bench that keeps showing up when it counts, the Celtics are built for these high-stakes battles. They've been here before. They know what it takes. And with every win, they're getting closer to another finals run. So stay locked in, Celtics Nation. The journey's far from over. The energy is rising. The competition is fierce. And if this last game was any indication, Boston isn't just surviving. They're thriving. Let's see who's ready for the storm that's coming next. As the Celtics look ahead to the next challenge, the vibe around this team is crystal clear. Focused, hungry, and unshakably confident. They've been through battles. They've faced adversity, and every time the lights have gotten brighter, they've stepped up. What's different about this Boston squad isn't just their talent, it's their maturity. It's how they respond when things get tough. And it's how every single player, from the starters to the last man off the bench, knows their role and executes it with precision. Look at someone like Derek White. The guy might not always steal the headlines, but his impact is undeniable. He's the kind of player who can quietly give you 18 points, play elite defense on the perimeter, and make the smart pass that leads to an open shot. And that's the beauty of this Celtics roster. They're deep, they're versatile, and they don't rely on just one or two guys to get the job done. One night it might be Tatum going off for 35, the next is Brown lighting it up. Or maybe Porzingis dominates the post. Or maybe it's a Marcus Smart-esque hustle game from Drew Holiday where he grabs steals, takes charges, and completely disrupts the opposing offense. That's the formula. That's what makes them dangerous. And then there's the defensive side of things. Boston's defense has been absolutely suffocating this postseason. They close out on shooters, they communicate like veterans, and they rotate as if they're moving with one brain. In Game 5 against Orlando, it felt like every possession ended with a contested shot or a forced turnover. Guys were diving for loose balls, challenging shots at the rim, and making life miserable for the Magic. That level of effort doesn't just happen. It comes from culture, it comes from leadership, and it comes from knowing that defense wins championships. Joe Mazzulla deserves a ton of credit for what he's doing with this group. After stepping into a high-pressure role last season, he's really grown into the head coach position. His rotations are sharper, his in-game adjustments are quicker, and his trust in the players is obvious. He's not overcoaching. He's letting the guys play, make reads, and rely on the chemistry they've built over the course of the season. And when the moment calls for a timeout or a tweak in strategy, he's ready. That balance is rare in a coach this early in his tenure, and it's one of the big reasons Boston looks so composed this postseason. Speaking of chemistry, the bond on this team is something special. You can see it in the way they celebrate each other's success, the way they pick each other up after a mistake, and the way they hold each other accountable. There's no ego here, there's no drama. It's just a group of guys who know what they want and are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. When Tatum passes up a shot to feed Brown in the corner, when Porzingis sets a hard screen to free up White, when the bench is on their feet after a big defensive stop, that's culture, that's trust, and that's what separates contenders from champions. Let's not forget what this team went through last season. The highs, the lows, the heartbreak of losing in the finals after fighting tooth and nail to get there. That kind of loss can either break a team or forge them into something stronger. And if there's one thing we've seen from Boston this year, it's that they're not running from that pain. They are using it as fuel. Every tough possession, every physical battle, every emotional moment, they're channeling it into something greater. That experience, that hunger, it's driving every decision they make on the court. And look, we can't talk Celtics without giving proper credit to Jason Tatum. He's grown so much, not just as a scorer, but as a complete basketball player. His vision has improved, his handle is tighter, and he's making quicker reads under pressure. Tatum is no longer just trying to drop 40 every night. He's playing the long game. He's focused on winning, on doing the little things, on letting the game come to him. Whether it's driving to the rim, pulling up from mid-range, or finding the open shooter in the corner, he's doing exactly what the team needs at the right time. That superstar-level understanding of the game. But what really makes this playoff run feel different is how united this group looks. In past years, there were times when Boston would get rattled. a bad quarter, a rough shooting night, and you see the frustration bubble up, but not this year. They're composed, they're resilient. When Orlando came out swinging in Game 3, the Celtics didn't panic. They adjusted. They went back to the drawing board, cleaned up their mistakes, and came back stronger. That kind of response doesn't happen by accident. That's leadership. That's belief. There's also been a noticeable increase in physicality. Boston isn't backing down from anyone. Whether it's battling on the boards, fighting through screens, or contesting shots with intensity, they're embracing the grind. And that's exactly the mindset you need in the playoffs. Because as the rounds go on, it's not just about who's more skilled, it's about who wants it more, who's willing to dive on the floor for a loose ball, who's going to fight through fatigue and keep running the offense the right way, who's going to put their body on the line to take a charge in crunch time. The Celtics are showing that they're built for those moments. Of course, as the stakes rise, the spotlight only gets hotter. Every possession matters more. Every decision can swing momentum, and the margin for error shrinks. But if there's a team in this postseason that looks ready for that pressure, it's Boston. They're not flinching. They're not second guessing. They're playing with conviction, with swagger, and with the kind of poise you usually only see from championship squads. Looking ahead to a potential matchup with the Knicks or the Pistons, it's going to come down to execution. Both teams bring different challenges. The Knicks play with grit and have that New York toughness, and Brunson has been on a tear. If Towns finds rhythm, he can be a handful in the paint. Boston will have to stay disciplined on switches and avoid foul trouble against such physical opponents. On the other hand, if the Pistons advance, you're looking at a young, fearless team riding high on momentum. Kate Cunningham's breakout has been legit, and their role players are playing with house money. They've got nothing to lose, and that kind of mindset can be dangerous. Boston will have to bring the same level of intensity and not underestimate them for a second. But make no mistake, whoever steps on the court against the Celtics is in for a fight. This team isn't just chasing a title. They're chasing greatness, they're chasing legacy, and with the way they're playing right now, it's going to take something special to knock them off course. So buckle up, Celtics fans, the road ahead might be tough, but this squad is built for it. Every game, every quarter, every possession, it's all part of the journey. And the way things are shaping up, we might just be watching the next chapter in a historic run unfold right before our eyes. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The Boston Celtics have made headlines once again, this time with a blockbuster move that sent shockwaves through the NBA. Zach LaVine, the explosive shooting guard formerly of the Chicago Bulls, is officially heading to Boston. In a trade that had been rumored for weeks, the Celtics have added a high-scoring, athletic wing to an already formidable roster, signaling their intent to chase another championship. LaVine, a two-time All-Star known for his elite scoring ability and aerial highlights, brings a new dimension to the Celtics offense. With Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown already leading the charge, the addition of LaVine forms a terrifying trio that will challenge any defense in the league. His ability to create shots, hit from deep, and finish at the rim makes him an ideal fit in Joe Mazzulla's up-tempo system. While the Celtics had to part ways with key rotation players and future draft assets to make the deal happen, the front office clearly believes LaVine's talent outweighs the cost. The move shows a win-now mentality from Boston's management, who are banking on LaVine's presence pushing them over the top in an increasingly competitive Eastern Conference. LaVine, who averaged over 24 points per game last season, expressed excitement about the opportunity to join a storied franchise like Boston. Playing for the Celtics is an honor, he said shortly after the trade was finalized. I'm ready to contribute, win games, and bring another banner to the Garden. Fans in Boston are buzzing with anticipation as the team prepares to integrate LaVine into the lineup. If chemistry develops quickly, the Celtics could become the clear favorites to win the title. One thing is certain, with Zach, LaVine, and Green, and White, the road to the NBA Finals just got a lot more exciting. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.